So today I'm going to tell you probably one of the craziest high school stories I've ever received as a submission. So yeah, strap in, buckle those seatbelts because we're about to be for a crazy ride of a video. Subscribe if you're new. And let's call today's subscriber who submitted this story, let's call him Jay. So Jay was in class and it doesn't really matter what class it was, but he was in class and he was in high school, right? So he was kind of bored in the class, and one of the things that a lot of kids do when they're bored, and I did this a bit in high school too, is when you kind of just want to go on your phone, or when you just want to like leave the class and I don't know, kind of mix things up, you ask to go to the bathroom, even if you really don't need to go to the bathroom, like even if you just have zero urge to go, you always raise your hand. But the problem is if you do this every day, the teachers, they aren't stupid. I mean, a few maybe, but generally they know what's going on, but they can't like deny you access to the bathroom. So on this day, Jay was bored again and raises his hand and says, "Hey, like, Mr. I don't know, Davenport, can I go to the bathroom?" And he's like, "Sure, just make sure to make it quick." That always kind of bugged me a little bit. Like, I understand that they're saying, "I know you're not going to the bathroom, bro. You're just going on your phone. Please don't be on TikTok for the next 30 minutes. But at the same time, like, man, I can't control that. But anyways, Jay walks off to the bathroom, and Jay's just like very much being super spacey right now. This will be important in a second, trust me. But he's really just kind of in his own head, and he's kind of just going through the motions. I don't know if you guys ever just like do stuff on autopilot, basically. But sometimes you can make some pretty crucial mistakes when you're not paying attention. And this was a crucial mistake that Jay made, because without even realizing it, instead of walking into the guy's bathroom, he walked into the girl's bathroom, which, I mean, I've done that once before when I was in 4th grade, and thankfully no one was in the building and no one was in the bathroom, and I only realized because why are the walls pink? Where are the urinals? What? Yeah, but sure enough, did not even realize, and he just swings open the door, and he walks in, and he already has his phone pulled out, so he's just like looking at his phone, and he walks in, and he stumbles upon two girls. And one of them, he kind of knows as, or is kind of known as, like, the sketchy girl. She's definitely, like, has, like, a ton of strikes against her. She's on thin ice already. She's kind of known as hanging out with the bad crowd. And she's probably, like, one failing class away from just straight up dropping out or being just expelled for terrible grades. And then there's another girl who's kind of known as, like, kind of like the golden girl of the class, right? She's always, like, getting an A in everything. She's doing all the clubs, sports, extracurricular activities. You already know how it is. So Jay was, first of all, confused about two things. The first thing, why are there girls in the boys' bathroom? Which he would soon realize the answer to that. And the second thing is, why is, like, the golden girl, and we're literally just going to call her golden girl and sketchy girl. Like, why is the golden girl hanging out with the sketchy girl? Like, you're allowed to hang out with whoever you want. It just didn't really make a lot of sense. So Jay kind of got an answer to his first question pretty quickly, because both of them were like, what are you doing in here? And sure enough, Jay starts to realize kind of the terror starts to creep upon him when he realizes that, yeah, no, this is not the boys' bathroom. This is not the boys' bathroom. So Jay's like, oh, I'm so sorry. But Jay is looking at them, is thinking, what is going on? And because they have a ton of stuff out, they're not just both happen to be in the bathroom at the same time. They are very, very clearly up to something suspicious. And Jay looks, and the sketchy girl, has a backpack, and there are some stuff on the table. And he looks over, and the two girls see that he looks over, and what is on the table? It is very clearly a Xeroxed answer sheet to an upcoming test. And the assumption was that, like, it was like what Jay started to realize was that the golden girl was probably buying test answers from the sketchy girl. And both the sketchy girl and the golden girl noticed that Jay sees this. So the golden girl doesn't say anything. She's just not even trying. She's like probably very scared, doesn't want to be caught, none of that. But the sketchy girl walks up to Jay and like basically like just kind of like scares him, because walks up to him, puffs out her chest, is kind of like trying to be as big as possible. Is like, hey, like, you stumbled into the girl's bathroom. I could report you for weird and suspicious activities. And she said, I could also make it sound a lot worse than it really was. And Jay's like, all right, I'm not doing anything suspicious here. And the girl's like, the sketchy one's like, I see that you were eyeing these papers, right? These test answers. And let me just say that if any like principal or any teacher gets word that, these are floating around, or if I'm floating them around, or whoever receives them, and the golden girl kind of shrinks into the corner more, she's like, if that ever happens, then I think the principal and, the school officials are going to get word that you, Jay, very creepily bursts into the girls' bathroom to try and look at us changing or going to the bathroom. That's what they're going to be hearing. And Jay's like, all right, well, just know I didn't mean to do that. It's a complete accident. I'm kind of a space case. And he said, I won't say anything. You got my word. I literally have no incentive to turn you guys in. And now I also have a pretty big disincentive to do it. So I'm not going to do it. You guys are fine. Don't even worry about it. And, what's her name? The kind of the sketchy girl was like, all right, well, I think we have a good agreement then, Jay. Now, get out of here. Not your bathroom. Haha. Jay's like, yeah, my fault. I'm sorry again. And he walks out of the girl's bathroom. And Jay steps into the guy's bathroom and is feeling very uncomfortable. He's like, okay, that was a terrible experience. So Jay goes back to class, and as soon as he walks in the door, the teacher just gives him a look because of the whole altercation in the girl's bathroom. It took him a second longer than he really should have been out. And the teacher just gives him a stare, but doesn't comment anything because, I don't know, maybe he has some medical condition that makes him take a long time in the bathroom. The teacher knows that this is not the case, but still is not going to risk it, or it's just not going to say anything. But the teacher gives him a long stare. Jay kind of just quickly, or very quietly and quickly, walks over to his seat, takes a seat, sits down, and is kind of thinking about the whole situation that went down, but really just doesn't think anything much of it. And thinks that the whole thing is over, yet the whole thing is not over. In fact, it gets a lot worse because Jay is walking out of class, right? And they don't have a loudspeaker or anything, so it's not like the principal could have called his name on the loudspeaker, which probably would be more embarrassing if anything. But Jay's walking out of class, and he's walking to his next class, and that's when he sees the principal of the school walking, very very forcefully, very intently, kind of speed walking. And Jay's like, if I wasn't being so paranoid right now, I would say that she's walking right towards me. And that's when Jay realizes, no, she's actually walking right towards him. And he's like, oh no. And the principal walks up to Jay and stares him down and is like, Jay, come with me. And Jay's like, why? And she says, I think you know why. And Jay's just silent. He's like, I got to figure out what this is before I say anything. So sure enough, right, Jay follows the principal to the principal's office. And he goes in there, and who do you think is sitting in the principal's office? The two girls, the golden girl and the sketchy girl. And the sketchy girl has this kind of malicious look on her face, and the golden girl looks like this is literally the last place that she wants to be on Earth right now. Comment golden down below if you want to harden your comment. The secret word of the day is golden, because golden girl, I just thought that off the bat. If you don't get a heart, don't take it personally. I'm pretty busy today, but I'll do my best to heart as many comments as I can. And also, if you want to support us getting to 600,000 subscribers, go binge watch some videos, and please let me know when you do so I can say thank you. Anyways, back to the story, because it's about to get real interesting. So Jay's just thinking about, he's sitting there and he's just thinking to himself, what happened? I didn't say anything, I didn't snitch, maybe someone else snitched and she thinks it was me, but she definitely turned me in. That's Jay's almost 100% certain. And so the principal's like, Jay, I think I know why you're, I think you know why you're here. And Jay's like, well, I'm not 100% sure, can you clarify? And the principal's like, okay then, well, you're making this harder than it needs to be. And, she says, all right, so these two girls claim that you have been kind of stalking her, or both of them, for a while now. You've been kind of creepy and watching them, and that it kind of climaxed recently when you entered their bathroom to try and get a peep at them doing who knows what. And it's a pretty serious accusation, and I just want to hear your side of what's going on. And Jay is just looking at straight up looking at I almost said emo girl, looking at the sketchy girl. And Jay's thinking to himself, did you just kamikaze me? Kamikaze me? Do you not understand the concept of mutually assured destruction? And Jay kind of thinks that this girl thinks that reporting Jay would get him suspended from school or straight up expelled from school, and that would somehow get him not even a chance of him spilling, which completely backfired because now they have nothing against Jay. And if they're being so malicious against Jay, why wouldn't he do the same back? And sure enough, right, the sketchy girl probably should have paid attention more in class, in the logic class, because her logic is completely flawed in this situation. And she soon learns that, I can't speak, man. 1 like equals 1 prayer for my brain. No, but anyways, Jay's sitting there, and he's just thinking to himself, why? Why would you do this? And Jay's like, well, actually, the story is more complicated than that. And he goes on to tell that, I barely know these girls, right? I've not been stalking them. I've not been sketchily watching them. I accidentally walked into the girls' bathroom and I immediately apologized, right? If you're going to believe me, maybe not, but that is the truth. However, there's more to the story. And that's when the sketchy girl's face drops because for some reason, for some absurd reason, she thinks that turning him in would somehow make it so that he wouldn't turn them in. Dude, you just mutually assured destruction. You launch the nukes, bro, he's launching them right back. So Jay then goes on to say that, I was not being weird, right? I stumbled in there, but then I saw something that I shouldn't have. And I was threatened by this girl, and points to the sketchy girl, to be quiet or that she is going to exaggerate the story. And the sketchy girl's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And like, that's not true. What were we even doing? And Jay was like, well, you were selling answers to this girl, test answers for a recent test. And at this point, right, the other girl's face goes bright red because like the golden girl she was just trying to get some test answers. Maybe she was, overworked or something. Like she probably just got herself in a bad situation. But the sketchy girl was like, that's absurd. I would never do something like that. Like, I had she turns to the principal like, I know I've had my troubles in the past, but you know that I've worked through them and I know that I'm on thin ice anyways. Why on earth would I ever do that? And so Jay is kind of like, okay, I need proof. I don't have proof. So Jay goes on a limb and he's like, because this is kind of a risky move, but it turns out to be a very big brain chess move because Jay says, all right, well, if I can't prove that they were cheating, like, then you can believe their story. And he says, well, if I can prove that they were actually like passing out test answers, then maybe believe my story. And this is a massive risk, a massive gamble, but really at this point, Jay had nothing else really. And Jay said he pointed to the golden girl who had her backpack with her and said, search her backpack. I can guarantee you that there are test answers in there. If there aren't, then their story is true. This is a massive gamble because for all he knows, the golden girl has either decided not to buy the test answers or decided to put them somewhere else or has memorized the test answers and discarded it, but, the principal's like, oh, okay, like, are you fine with this? And the golden girl just has this horrified look on her face. And the teacher or the principal kind of takes no response, is like, yeah, sure, whatever. And so the principal opens up the backpack, and sure enough, the first thing the principal sees is a Xeroxed test sheet of all the answers. Like, how teachers will make those test sheets to kind of like make grading multiple choice exams easier? It was that. So the sketchy girl must have like figured out, like the golden girl must have gone up to the sketchy girl, said, hey, I need help with this. The sketchy girl must have like been like, all right, but it's going to cost you. Went in to a teacher's place, grabbed the answer sheet, Xeroxed it, put it back, and then sold it to her in the bathroom, right? And it just happened that Jay wandered in. So all of a sudden the principal's like, oh my God, like, wait a minute, like, what is this? Turns to the golden girl like, you have like such a perfect record. Why would you do this? Golden girl starts tearing up, turns to like the sketchy girl and is like, you were on thin ice before. You said that you changed. You said you wouldn't do this anymore. And the sketchy girl is just looking away like, oh, whatever, man. Like, this is so lame anyways. And Jay is kind of off the hook. He kind of gets like 1 day detention for going in the girls' bathroom because they do assume that it is a mistake, but you still shouldn't be doing that. And just in case, right, they're like, all right, I'm sorry, we got to give you some detention. But the golden girl gets her first actual like punishment. It's not even just a slap on the wrist. I don't know exactly what it was, as this story was submitted on my Instagram, which you should go follow and submit stories on. I wasn't told exactly. However, I do know the sketchy girl got expelled. So yeah, just don't do that. Don't be that guy. Leave a like or a bad.
Click on the video on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it, do it.